Dai, Papa. This is my potato plant. It's a potato that I found in the darkest corner in my fridge. The crows. So yep, this is my potato. This is my potato plant. I think I'm gonna close the window. Actually, I'm gonna show you the box. Why not? This is the box. This is the box. The paintings are there. I also had to buy these, I don't know, little shelves for separate the paintings that were not for separating the paints that were not fully dried, because you know it's oil. It takes time. If you put it together, it sticks. Oil paintings. Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm Santiago, an emerging artist, and today's video I'm gonna show you my portrait challenge. Yay! So I'm gonna tell you why I started this portrait challenge. I'm gonna show you some pictures and then talk about a bit like new projects. First things first, we need a bit of context. Why did I decided to make a portrait challenge? Because I wanted to push myself to paint daily, because I was leaving oil painting behind a bit. I was focusing more like in digital illustration. I have some projects that probably in the future I'll show you. So this challenge was my way to step in oil painting again. Portraits. Why portraits, you might ask? I think human faces are one of the most challenging subjects you can actually paint, because for example, if you're gonna paint other kind of subject, I don't know, still life, landscapes, animals, whatever, you name it. If you don't put the right stroke in the spot, if you don't make, I don't know, this tree as big as it should be, like at the end, it doesn't matter, like nobody cares, right? But in portraits, you really have to put things as it should be, otherwise the subject wouldn't look like the real person you're trying to paint. So then, well, I try to make it as hard as possible, but also like keep it in an achievable way. And then, well, my idea was painting one portrait per day for 30 days. The format was going to be 30 for 40 centimeters in these canvas sheets, and the idea was like to make it manageable, you know, a size that I could actually store in somewhere. The place I'm living is quite small, so storage options are limited. I break these 30 paintings in 4 groups, so I'm gonna show you each group instead of showing you like all the paintings, because this video would be like 2 hours long and I wanna make it as fun as possible. So let's go to the first group. First group is the beginning one. I tried to start painting as I was used to, keeping the style I had at that time. I realized that this style requires way more time. So the first paintings, for example, the first one that is gonna appear here is a painting of my partner, and I actually didn't like the outcome because I was so focused on finishing the painting on time that the outcome wasn't great. I didn't enjoy it, and I don't know, the layers of color were kind of very strong and messy. The sketch wasn't as good as I expected. So, well, it was the beginning. Then in the other paintings, I was trying to keep on my style as it was at that time, but after these paintings, the first group is like 6 paintings. After this one, I realized that I didn't need to cover that much space in the painting, in the canvas with a lot of color. These portraits are huge, like the subject covers like the 90% of the canvas, and I think it wasn't necessary and I just realized it. The others are also keeping a bit of the style and everything, but more and more I was putting effort in reducing a lot of detailing and time-consuming layers because it's a painting per day, right? I want to talk about one of these paintings in specific, and it's the painting of Felipe. I was focusing a lot on the sketch in this one, and I had so much fun drawing the helmet. The helmet had a lot of details, and I love it. But at the time I started applying the layers of paint, the sketch just disappeared, was vanished. I started focusing more in the face and I forgot about the complexity of the helmet. What a shame. But at the end of the day, the outcome was good. I really like this contrast of colors. So yeah, that's mostly the first group. So let's go for the second one. Group number 2 is actually following the first group in terms of time, like is kind of totally different to the previous one. I wanted to cutting off all the time consuming unnecessary elements within the painting. I got rid of the background completely. I just prepared the canvas with a layer of gesso and that's it. I start putting more effort in the sketch for make the subjects quite accurate and start playing with a very reduced color palette. More simple colors, quite strong and bright, and a little color theory, you know, some contrast, some complementaries, but nothing like out of this world. Also in this one, I started to add the little boxes. I don't know how to call this in English. I gotta look it up, but I'm recording this with my phone, so later. Well, these little black boxes are so interesting to me, not just as a graphic element, as they are a very strong graphic element, but also for playing with the composition, for give more complexity and kind of different meanings inside the canvas. I have used these elements before in other paintings that I'll probably show you in the future. Let me see in the comments if you want to see that. I think it's something that plays with the viewer. You as a viewer see these elements and say like, this person is trying to say something. What is he saying? Why? It's like a conversation and I like to include these kind of things. I would like to say something about this one. The painting of Anita, which is here. I had a lot of troubles making this portrait in specific because as I'm preparing the canvas with a layer of gesso, I run out of gesso. I had to go and buy a new one, but the one I bought was a different brand, and because of the technique I was using, somehow for some reason that I can't comprehend, the gesso just started like melting down. It was a very weird thing. I had to get rid of that gesso, purchase a new one, the same brand I was using before, so well, and at the end of the day it ended up like looking good, but this portrait in specific is heavier than the others because of the layers of gesso I use it. Anyway, that's the second group, so let's go for the third one. Group number 3. So group number 3 is actually the biggest one. At that time I was already like the middle of the challenge and I was a bit tired. I started again to get rid of more elements. Let's say it wasn't unnecessary elements, but there was elements that I could play with and start removing, go into that process and see what happened. I started to use one very detailed sketch and one layer of painting, and then just start removing the painting with the turpentine for making this effect of volume and depth. In this one I started realizing how this process was actually changing my style. I was actually improving. Yay! I realized it because in the first group I made this painting of Julian. I made it very fast, I wasn't focusing on the sketch, and in this group I made another portrait of Julian, and well, you can see the difference. There is like a jump in terms of quality and accuracy. As I said before, I was focusing more and more in the sketch to make the painting as accurate as possible. But I also had some challenges. These little humans, those are my nephews. It was so complicated for me to paint them because usually I paint adult people with strong lines of expression, but you know, little humans, babies, has a very soft skin, so it was very hard for me to see where should I put the spot, where should I put the shadow, the light. I couldn't make this kind of aggressive lines, otherwise they would look older. It was crazy. Painting little humans is such a challenge for me. So till this point I was just painting people that I know, my friends, my family, people that I have seen with my very eyes. I started to take references from unknown people, models from Pinterest. There is also people that doesn't exist and I just generated by artificial intelligence. When I started to paint these people, I realized I didn't care too much about accuracy. I know how my friends looks like. I was committed to make the painting as similar as possible with these people that I will probably never see in person. I was like, it doesn't matter if the eyes are a bit bigger or the nose is smaller or is not in the right spot, whatever. I didn't really pay too much attention to that, as the color wasn't a factor anymore and lights and shadows was the most important things. Some of the pictures I took as a reference for making this specific group of paintings were not in the quality I was requiring. What I mean with this is some of the pictures were also like in a very neutral light. It wasn't a strong bright light or strong shadows in it, and I had to manipulate the picture in terms of make the contrast stronger to really see where the shadows and the lights were. But well, this is it. This is the group number 3. Let's go for group number 4. Group number 4 is very special for me because even though these paintings are not the latest paintings in the challenge, those are the most interesting. These paintings kind of summarizes what I was achieving. In these ones I tried to focus more on the sketches, like in my process is the best way to determine what you should do next. So as a guideline, the sketches are so important for me, but also as I put a lot of effort in it, I don't want the sketch to be disappeared after I apply the layers of painting. So I started to make the sketch strong, bold lines, so it would be visible through the layers of oil, because you know oil painting is kind of transparent sometimes. And I wanted to make it in this way because it's like a timeless point of view of the painting when it's finished. You just don't see the painting finish, but you also see through the layers till the beginning of the painting. And I think that's kind of interesting and adds value and richness to the painting itself. Sometimes when you go to a museum, when you're watching a painting in real life, you can see how they made this stroke, why they put this line in here, this volume in there, what was the treatment of the background. It's very visible, and that's very interesting to me. So I wanted to keep these sketches in the background but also visible. And another feature that I added in these paintings was the gradient. Of course these gradients weren't very strong, and I wanted in that way because I wanted people to focus more on the volumes and the sketch. And within this group, that is the painting that I like it the most of all the challenge, because I think it summarizes not just all the things I wanted to achieve, but also the process and all the learning I could get from this challenge. And that's the painting of Andrea. Andrea is one of my friends from Colombia, and she loves reading Pessoa, who is a poet. So she holds a book, and in the box there's the name of the poet. So I added a lot of things in this one. The sketch is very visible, but also there is a gradient, the volumes, everything. I don't know, I really like this one. The other one that I really liked was the second I made for Yojon, because it also has like a bunch of elements that I was developing through the challenge. I really liked that this high contrast, those two colors really worked for me a lot. Probably through the videos you will see more and more this game of darker blue and the orangish red with the boxes. Always with the boxes, I really like playing around with those colors. So yeah, that's pretty much the 30 days portrait challenge. I learned a lot of things through this process. I also realized that I can deliver one painting per day. I think I was focusing so hard on making it daily that I didn't focus in the things that I was learning while I was learning it. But then comparing one painting of the oldest one to the newest one, I can really see that I was developing some skills. Currently, I'm working in an acrylic challenge, which is like very little is more freedom. The topics are completely different. It's in acrylic because I can't allow myself to have headache every day, like because of smelling turpentine and oil. And of course I'm gonna make another video about that when I finish it. In the next video I'm gonna show you something completely different that I've been working on since the last 2-3 months. It's a completely different project. Of course it's also about art. Yeah, one more thing. For now I haven't found a proper space for hanging my paintings, so I'm still currently looking for a place. I would really like to make an exhibition with these paintings, but nowadays it's kind of complicated to find a nice space, also an affordable one. So yeah, I think that's all for today. Thank you guys for staying with me till the end of the video. I know this video is gonna be pretty long, but anyway, it's a vlog that of course it's gonna be this long. If you like this content, please, share it, like, comment, whatever. I would really like to read your comments and see what you think about what I'm doing. If you have any suggestion, I'm open to discuss suggestions because this is my second video, so like, comment, all those things, and see you in the next one.